Alright guys, get started on this. I made a couple of videos that I really wasn't happy with. I was going to upload them to YouTube, but I'm just not satisfied with them giving you guys enough information. So I'm going to teach you how to prepare. This first video is going to be how to prep for the installation. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to find what we're looking for. I like Linux Mint. We're going to go to Linux Mint's main page. There's linuxmint.com. We're going to download it. And you have to see if their system is 32-bit or 64-bit. We're going to go to Start, Control Panel. We're going to move down to System Options, System, and my computer's running 64-bit. That means that my processor is a 64-bit processor. 32-bit can run on 64 just fine. Sometimes 64-bit operating systems can be buggy in Linux because 64-bit is still relatively new. I'm going to run 32-bit because I'm going to be running a virtual box and you're not going to be able to run 64 in there. No codecs means no MP3 support and a lot of stuff that you are going to need, so we definitely want the codecs. Cinnamon is their new desktop. It's pretty nice. To me it's a little buggy, so I'm not really interested. I like the Mate. Now I'm going to download Mate 32-bit and download the torrent file. I use Deluge. Some people use uTorrent. There's a lot of them out there. Azorius, pick what you want. I think it's Views now. Anyway, you can let it go, and it's going to start downloading from a bunch of different people. Now, I already have all of these downloaded, so there's no worries there. We don't have to worry about that. So we'll get rid of it, close it, close. The other one we're going to be running is xubuntu.org. And we can click Get. And there's the desktop, 32-bit and 64-bit. Alternative just means a different mirror that you can download from. These are going to come torrent anyway, so you can download the torrent there. And the last one I'm going to talk about at the end is going to be Backtrack, backtrack-linux.org. This isn't for your main computer distribution. You won't be using this like installing it. If you're interested in Backtrack, I'll do a little more information on it. I'm no pro by a long shot, but there's some cool things we can do here, and I just want to show you where the download is so that if you want to download, you can download it. Backtrack Linux gives you a little bit of options when it comes to downloads. Now, I don't want to register my download. Let's see here, we can pick the newest one, the one before that, or 5. 5 is available and also comes in ARM. ARM is like, well, they're open source processors and little mini computers like Android phones and stuff. You can run it on there if you know what you're doing, but it's not easy. Alright, so I'm going to get R2. I hate KDE with a passion, so I'm going to go with GNOME. Make it 32-bit so that I can use it on more computers. I want the ISO, I want a torrent, and then I can click download, and it'll start downloading. Skip that. Alright, so once we've got them downloaded, we've got them here. This is Backtrack, Linux Mint, and Xubuntu. These are ISO files. ISO files are disk image files. The reason for disk image files is because bootable disks have to be bootable. And if you just, put a disk in the drive and drag this to it and tell it to burn it, it's going to burn it, absolutely, but it's not going to burn it as a bootable disk, which is what we need because we're trying to boot. I use ImageBurn. You can look it up online. You can Google it. ImageBurn. Very easy program. Nothing is really difficult. There's a lot of stuff that you have, but really all you're going to need to do is write an image file to a disk. We're going to select a file. There's my things. Select Xubuntu. And then if I had a DVD in here, because Xubuntu might fit on a disk. Nope, 713 megs when it comes to bootable. So all these you'd have to burn to an actual DVD drive. So once you put a DVD drive in there, this boot lights up. You can click right here and it'll go. Then you've got a bootable disk with the distribution installed. Now the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you another way to do it. It's just another thing you can Google. Let's see here. Another thing you might need is UNetbooten. There we go. UNetbooten is available on SourceForge, where a lot of open source is. You can download it for Windows. It'll come to your computer. I recommend visiting the website because their perfect instructions are all on here. It'll tell you how to do anything. None of this stuff on the bottom really matters because you can load anything on it pretty much. But these are the distributions that come in it, or it'll download them, but it'll find them. But unfortunately, a lot of them are old, so you don't need that. You'll go down to this. Now let me pull you back up to where these are. Alright, UNetbooten. Another annoying Windows. Are you sure you want to run this? Okay, so we're going to burn a disk image. It's going to be an ISO image. It can be floppy images for other types of Linux distributions, but you're going to use an ISO 99.99% of the time. So here's our ISOs. I'll just put backtrack in there. Open. Now here it says USB drive or hard drive. Now this you can screw yourself. Make sure you do not try hard disk and C drive, otherwise you're going to fry your computer. There are ways to recover from it, but that's a lot of work and you didn't need to do that. Make sure it says USB drive, and then here when you plug in your USB drive it'll show you the new one. You can click on that and then click OK, and it'll burn the, I guess it won't burn, but it'll copy all the information as bootable on your USB drive. Okay, now I can't do this because unfortunately I don't have a computer that's going to show us this, but I recommend going to YouTube and Googling something like how to change BIOS boot order. There you go. Now all computers are going to be different. I don't know any of these guys. I don't know who they are, but someone's got good information, so check them out. What you want to do is whatever you're going to use as your boot. If you burn to a DVD, we'll use a DVD. If you used a CD on certain Linux distributions, you can use a CD. Or if it's a USB drive, you're going to have it plugged in to your USB port and then restart the computer. Depending on what hardware manufacturer you're using with, it's going to determine what button you're going to push to get it to go into the options menu. When you reboot your computer, you'll see it. You might be slow and miss it and then have to restart again, but you'll see it. This is an HP ProBook, and this is the first one I've ever had that you hold escape. Usually it's F10, F8, F2, F12, something like that. But anyway, alright, so let's say we got this on the disk, they're on there, we're ready to run. In the next video, we're going to go straight to it and start an install on one of them. Okay, I'll see you guys in video 2.